This is Franchise Trends with Jim Fitzpatrick, exclusively on ASBN.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for tuning in to Franchise Trends right here exclusively at ASBN.com. According to WebFX, 827 billion with a B is the economic output of franchises across the U.S. Joining us today to share more about his thriving franchising company is Dr. Jason Helfrich, who is the co-founder and CEO of 100% Chiropractic. Welcome, Dr. Jason, into the show. So glad you could make it today.
It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for having me.
Sure, and I might add, with 123 franchisees out there, you must be a very busy young man these days, right?
We are very busy. We're very efficient in what we do, and we have to be. But yeah, things have been growing beautifully, and just couldn't be prouder of the team we've assembled and what we're accomplishing.
That's great. That's great. For those people out there that are not as familiar with your company as we are here at the show, tell us a little bit about 100% Chiropractic.
My wife and I are both chiropractors, and so we opened our first practice, which was really our only intention, in 2004 in Colorado Springs, Colorado, with the intention of just building a very successful practice, maybe expanding to 2 or 3 someday, but that was kind of our thought process. And so we had some pretty good business knowledge behind us. We were owners of a restaurant prior to even going to grad school. So I think where some people struggled on the business side, we thrived on that and understood it at a high level. One practice quickly turned to 2 and then to 3, and then we were different cities and different states, and it just kind of took on a life of its own. So as much as I miss patient care, a few years later, we decided we would kind of jump into the back office and oversee the growth. And it's just been extraordinary. Chiropractic has so much to offer the healthcare field in general, and just really helping people to understand what we do and what we're all about. It's been an incredible asset for us. And, and we are excited for the growth and all the people we see coming into the practices.
That's fantastic. And you've been open now 20 years, right? You opened in 2004?
Yeah, crazy to hear that, but yes, 2004, 20 years.
Right.
And the exact same, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. And you waited till 2015, around that time, to say, let's go ahead and franchise?
Yeah, we had about 20 locations at that point that we had opened in partnerships with various doctors. And in 2015, a little bit us, more the attorneys and things like that recommend it, said, at this point, you're really looking to maybe sell your brand.
Yeah.
And so you should probably look at being a franchise. And we didn't know much about it, to be honest. I mean, we're chiropractors by trade, and that's what we did. But it made sense at that time. And of course, you go through a lot of investment for a young business at that point to officially be a franchise and things like that. But it was a great decision in hindsight, and I'm certainly glad we did it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It is a big decision to jump from owning your own stores or your own locations to saying, okay, we're going to be a franchisor. And it's a big investment. There's a lot of legalese that go into something like this, right?
Without a doubt. And I think the most important thing, and people ask now, should I franchise? And I think one thing that we did, and not even on purpose, but my answer is yes, it's a great model, but prove your model's able to be replicated.
Yeah.
And so it's one thing to have founders and owners be able to do it. Until you can see that done multiple times, you really should be selling and packaging that model. So for us, that was 20 times. So we felt very, very comfortable that we had done it in a successful format and handled some challenges. So it made sense at the time to certainly move into franchise.
Sure. Who's the perfect candidate for one of your franchises?
I think that there's 2 different candidates we have. We have some people coming in that are doctors, right, and that are chiropractors. So a young chiropractor or maybe an associate out there that wants to own their own practice. And so that's a perfect candidate. A lot of them work through our trainings, through school even. We have clubs and things across the country that we provide, so people can even start to train on our systems before they even graduate.
Oh.
I think they make a fantastic doctor and a perfect candidate to come in. Mm-hmm. On the other side, we also have people that are not doctors of chiropractic. And the perfect candidate there would be someone that's an entrepreneur that really understands opening a business, and someone that really understands chiropractic and wants to do more than just maybe serve a burger or wings or something like that. They want to actually touch the lives of people and make an impact in their community. And so those people make great people to come in, and then we, assist them in helping them find a great doctor that wants to come in, maybe not to own, but to actually more run their practice as an employee. And that's fantastic as well. So both those work out great for us.
That's fantastic. And roughly, what does it cost to open up one of your locations? If you can give us a range.
There's a couple the different models. We have a turnkey location that we provide that's a little more expensive for doctors coming out. They don't have the credit and the resources maybe to open their own location.
Okay.
So it's going to cost people right around 350 to 550 to get a practice up and running and open. We finance that for young doctors coming out and give them an opportunity to do that. But that's a pretty safe range, and rents vary so much from Los Angeles to Lincoln,
Sure.
Nebraska, obviously big differences and things like that. So it varies, but that's a pretty safe estimate.
I would imagine. And walk me through the business model a little bit. Obviously, when I go to a chiropractor, I'm prepared to go in and get adjusted, and it costs me X number of dollars to do that. And I've been going to the same one time and time again. But I understand that there's some kind of like a membership program out there that you can get in some of these companies. Do you have a similar situation like that?
We don't do membership for a variety of different reasons. And so we really want to focus on what the goal of the patient is on these. And so we have a lot of our competitors, some of the membership models don't accept insurance. And so there's a whole lot of laws and things that come along with accepting people's insurance, Medicare and things up. So we do it a little bit differently. But we have a process where we bring that patient in and go through we call it the initial discovery, to really understand what's going on. Then the next visit, we want to sit down with them, go over their films, and really help them tie that into maybe their complaints, things in life that are going on. Chiropractic's so misunderstood that it's a back and neck pain, and it works great for back and neck pain. It really does.
Yeah.
But it also has a massive influence of your central nervous system.
Yeah.
And so therefore, we feel pain as maybe 10% of that nervous system, but the other 90% is function. And so we know that pain, we can trace back what that nerve is carrying that pain. We can also trace functionality. It may be the thyroid, it may be the gut, it may be so many different things that tie into that.
Sure.
So as we start to see people's nervous system wake up and they go through what may be a course of corrective care to really get things back on track, maybe they just want pain management. And so we want to listen to what they're really dedicated to achieving in the office. And then, of course, we make that happen. Another big difference between us and a lot of our competitors is it's very, very thorough in that we shoot x-rays, and we want to understand and have an inside look at what the patient looks like structure-wise. We have a full line of nutritional supplements. We have stretch therapists, we have massage therapists, we have cold laser offered as well. So we really have a lot of tools in our tool belt to help our patients achieve the outcome as quick as possible. So it's a little different than some of the other ones. I would say a little more thorough as opposed to drop in and get adjusted.
Yeah.
It's much about a game plan and trying to achieve a goal that the patient wants to achieve.
I would imagine that you build this the customer base based on reviews and word of mouth, because everybody that's got a great experience with their chiropractor, the doctor, first thing they do is get on their phone, right, and tell all of their friends and social media, you got to check this place out, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. With social media, if it works both ways. If you're not doing a good job, I guess you hear about that too. But
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, word of mouth and our patients referring people in is the ultimate compliment, and certainly the best way to build a practice. So we do a lot of work on social media, really getting our word out, educating people on what's going on. Chiropractic is just different. It's different than the medical world. Both are so essential. But I mean, chiropractic can be in a little more of an open format. It can be a little more of a laid back atmosphere. It's kind of a coffee shop mixed maybe with healthcare. When you go in, it almost feels like you're going to a spa as opposed to a real sterile hospital type environment.
Nice.
So we're really proud of those differences, and we welcome people into that, and people are loving it for sure.
That's great. Ken, if somebody was interested in acquiring one of your franchises, 100% Chiropractic, can they buy and commit to just one, or some franchise companies say, hey, if you come in, you got to commit to opening up maybe 5 over the course of the next 2 to 3 years? How do you work on that?
Yeah, we focus on one would be more of our specialty. I'd love people to come in and I want them to make sure the model's perfect for them. So as opposed to, going, and we have a 5-pack and a 10-pack and a 3-pack and things like that. But majority of people come in and say, let's do one, let's see how that works.
Sure.
And then we watch those people purchase multiple locations, as they open up and see their first one start to flourish, and then they start to expand and do other ones as they really understand the model and what they're getting into. Some of them, chiropractic is new to them. Like they love the healthcare arena. They love helping people, but maybe they don't fully understand what chiropractic's all about.
Right.
And so chiropractic's as much of a lifestyle as anything. It's really being, like I said before, very preventative and really understanding how beneficial it is to get adjusted, not only when you're in pain, but to avoid being in pain.
Yeah.
And so, it's new to them to see infants adjusted.
Yeah.
It's new to them to see, 100-year-old people adjusted. So it kind of, they have to understand the model. And then when they do, and they know it's a perfect fit, I think then expansion makes more sense.
Yeah. And this is a perfect franchise to fit into any kind of a strip center, or where there's maybe a supermarket and you've got your dry cleaners and all of the other franchises there for, the families that want to make it quick and easy, right? And convenient.
Yeah, I think you want to be exactly where the family needs to be. So like you nailed it. We want to be somewhere right between Chipotle and Starbucks and their local grocery store, right? And you want to go and make it as convenient as possible for them to pop in and be there. So we're usually in strip centers just like that, just like you said. There's a couple that are in, more unique locations, individual buildings and things, but that pretty much is the exact location we have, which is what you described.
That's great. And from the time if somebody was listening right now and said, this sounds just like the type of franchise that I'd be interested in, from the time they call you to the time that they're welcoming their first patient in or guest, what kind of a time frame is involved there?
I'd say they're going to probably between 9 months and 18 months, somewhere in there, depending on how fast the build out goes and how fast they select a location. And we've had them happen very quickly, but sometimes people are negotiating back and forth in leases and different things like that. So I think, a year is a pretty safe estimate as to what we're looking at. And that's what we require in our FDD, actually, is people to open in a year. And then we'll certainly work with them and help them if they're not able to, but that's expectation-wise, I think, very realistic and what we see on a regular basis.
Sure. And you'll help your franchisees, your new franchisees, with site location, the build-out recommendations, the suppliers, the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah, of course. We have some of the best vendors. We've negotiated some of the best deals and relationships with people that not only have great value, but their service and their product is top notch. And, our offices are aesthetically just gorgeous when you walk in. And we want people to say, wow, I cannot believe this is a chiropractic office, right?
Yeah.
That's what we want them thinking. And so we've done a good job of kind of building the team together, both in-house and also people that we work with, to make sure it's as smooth as possible for our franchisees.
So if I was having this conversation with you 5 years from now, what does the growth plan look like? You've got 123 today. You've got 30 plus in the hopper, ready to be open or in the process. Where are you in 5 years?
I think we'd be right around the 500 mark. I think we're ready to grow fairly aggressively right now. And whether that means taking on groups of chiropractic offices and welcome them to the 100% family, or maybe selling a few more offices. We see a lot of docs coming out of school looking to open 100% offices. So we're very excited about that.
Sure.
And the role that we play in that profession. We're one of the bigger donors back to the schools to make sure we're giving back and setting up scholarships and really working with the students. It's a profession that's only going to grow if everyone's successful when they open their practices.
Yeah.
And it's tough out there. The market fluctuates, and it's a tougher time now to get money, and the price you're paying for money is tough. So, we're really proud of the role we play in taking a young chiropractor or a young entrepreneur, or an old entrepreneur for that matter, and really showing them how they can build a practice that's going to fit into what their ideal model is of a business that they want to own. So I think 500 is a pretty realistic goal, but also don't hold me to that, because I may want to up that.
Dr. Jason Helfrich, co-founder and CEO of 100% Chiropractic. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you all for watching this franchise trends right here at ASBN.com, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. So thank you so much, Doctor, and love to do a follow-up with you to see how things are moving along.
I would love that, and thank you again so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching Franchise Trends with Jim Fitzpatrick, exclusively on ASBN.